In the dust-swept plains of ancient Shinar, a story was buried. A tale so potent, its echoes still shape our world today. This isn't the Sunday school version you think you know. This is the forbidden history of the Tower of Babel, a rebellion that reached for the heavens and brought down divine fury. Our story begins not with bricks and mortar, but with a man cloaked in shadow and ambition. Nimrod. The Bible calls him a mighty hunter before the Lord, but ancient texts like the Book of Jasher and Jubilees paint a far more sinister picture. They speak of a tyrant, the world's first great king, who didn't just rule with an iron fist, he ruled with forbidden knowledge. Imagine a world recently cleansed by a global flood, a world of one people, one language. Unity sounds like a blessing, right? But in Nimrod's hands, it became a weapon. Jasher tells us Nimrod's priests and sages taught the masses the dark arts, the secrets of sorcery, and how to read the stars not for guidance, but for power. He was a master manipulator, uniting humanity not in worship of their creator, but in defiance of him. Whispers from these ancient non-canonical texts suggest Nimrod's lineage itself was tainted, possibly connected to the pre-flood Nephilim, the giants of old. He wasn't just a man. He was the embodiment of an ancient rebellious spirit, reawakened after the flood. He convinced the people that God was their enemy, a distant deity who hoarded the heavens for himself. "Let us build ourselves a city," he declared, "and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth." This wasn't just an architectural project. It was a declaration of war. The tower was to be a gateway, a portal. The Mesopotamian ziggurats, the real-world inspiration for Babel, weren't just towers. They were temple observatories, stairways to the cosmos. Archaeologists have unearthed these massive structures across Iraq, like the great ziggurat of Ur. They were built with baked brick and bitumen, exactly as described in Genesis. These weren't mere buildings. They were sacred mountains, designed to bridge the gap between earth and the divine realm on their own terms. On the bricks of these ancient ziggurats, we find symbols and cuneiform inscriptions. While no text explicitly says, "This is Nimrod's tower," the narrative is there. We see depictions of kings ascending to meet the gods, astrological symbols, and rituals meant to control the spiritual world. Nimrod, whose name is often linked to the Babylonian god Marduk, was likely the high priest of this new, unified religion. The tower was its epicenter, a place to centralize power, political, religious, and occult. Think about the sheer arrogance. They weren't just building high to avoid another flood, as some have suggested. The texts are clear. Their goal was to make a name for themselves and to reach the heavens. This was a direct challenge, a Gnostic pursuit of knowledge and power to become like gods. They sought to control their own destiny, to storm the gates of heaven, and to dethrone the Almighty. And what did God do? He didn't smite them with lightning. He did something far more subtle and far more profound. Genesis tells us, "The Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And he said, Indeed the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them." This is a chilling statement. God recognized that a unified, technologically advancing, and morally corrupt humanity was a catastrophic threat. Their potential for evil was limitless. So, he did the unthinkable. He confused their language. Imagine the scene. One moment, a bricklayer is calling for more mortar. The next, gibberish comes out of his mouth. The architect's commands are suddenly incomprehensible. Panic erupts. Suspicion turns to anger, then to violence. The grand, unified project collapses into chaos. Communication, the very tool Nimrod used to unite them, became the instrument of their division. Fragments from the Dead Sea Scrolls allude to this divine judgment, speaking of the division of languages, and the scattering of peoples as a direct consequence of rebellion, sometimes tying it to the angelic rebellions of ages past. The project was abandoned. The people, now unable to understand one another, scattered across the face of the earth, forming new tribes and new nations. The Great Rebellion was over. Babel, which means confusion, became a monument to human pride and divine judgment. Archaeologists digging in the ruins of Babylon, the historical inheritor of Babel's legacy, have found a vast, unfinished ziggurat known as Etemenanki. Many scholars believe this could be the very foundation of the legendary tower, a silent testament to a dream that died in a symphony of confusion. But here is where the ancient story sends a shiver down the spine of the modern world. The story of Babel didn't end in the sands of Mesopotamia. It's a prophetic pattern, a ghost that haunts our own time. Take a look around. We are living in an age of unprecedented global connection. The Internet has given us a new, universal language of code and content. We talk of a global village, a new world order. Leaders and institutions constantly push for global governance, a single economic system, and a unified set of values to solve the world's problems. On the surface, it sounds noble, just as Nimrod's plan for unity may have sounded to his people. But what is the spirit behind this modern push for unity? Is it a unity under God, or a unity to make a name for ourselves? We see a growing hostility towards the old ways, towards traditional faith, towards the very idea of a transcendent creator. Technology is advancing at a dizzying pace, from artificial intelligence to genetic engineering. We are once again reaching for the heavens, not with bricks and bitumen, but with silicon and data, seeking to unlock the secrets of life and consciousness, to become the masters of our own evolution. The spirit of Babel is alive and well. It's the spirit that says, we don't need God, we can save ourselves, we can perfect ourselves, we can build our own utopia. This is the ultimate rebellion, echoing the very first lie whispered in the Garden of Eden. You will be like God. The Book of Revelation speaks of a future time when a global system, symbolized by Babylon the Great, will unite the world in commerce and ideology, all under the rule of a charismatic, Nimrod-like figure. This system will demand total allegiance, persecuting all who refuse to bow down. It will be the final, ultimate attempt to build the Tower of Babel, a humanistic world order in direct opposition to the kingdom of God. The story of Babel is not just ancient history, it's a prophecy unfolding before our very eyes. It's a warning that every attempt to unite humanity apart from its creator will ultimately end in confusion and judgment. The ruins in Iraq are not just a tourist attraction. They are a stark reminder of where pride leads. As we build our modern towers of technology and globalism, we must ask ourselves, what spirit is driving us? Are we building to glorify God? Or are we, once again, trying to make a name for ourselves and storm the gates of heaven? The answer will determine our destiny. Thanks so much for journeying with us into this forbidden history. If this story fascinated you, please hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of the past, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. What are your thoughts on the connection between ancient Babel and our modern world? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep questioning.